You're listening to Pondering Pennies with Dempsy and Ray.
All right, welcome back to the latest episode of Pondering Pennies. Ray is once again out of the country for work, so we got the fan favorite here, Dempsey, and today we're going to be talking to Topher. Topher was in the military for about 6 years in the Air Force, and he worked on planes. Topher, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Hey everybody, I am Topher. I was in the Air Force for about 6 years, and I was a mechanic on heavier aircraft, so like cargo planes and refuelers and things like that.
When you say mechanic, what does that mean? Like you worked on the airplane's equivalent of a car engine, or what was going on there?
So instead of like the airplane's engine, like cars and stuff, I was pretty much like an over-glorified like Jiffy Lube. So they'd come in, I'd change brakes or tires, maybe like windshields, or like sometimes heavier parts of the aircraft like flaps and slats, like the things that make the plane move in the air.
It's almost like a body shop.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff like that.
What made you join the Air Force? Where was the inspiration behind that?
When I was younger, it was like, oh, I want to be a part of the military and stuff like that. And then later it just became I want to travel. And then I ended up not traveling at all. So except when I deployed.
Completely backfired.
Yeah, as usual.
All right. What was BMT like? How was that?
I'd honestly say BMT was more boring than anything. Some people say it's hard, but I feel like it was mostly just like tedious, doing the same thing over and over again. It's like Groundhog's Day. So like I just found it more boring than anything. And then tech school was just about the same thing too.
What's tech school?
Tech school is like your follow-on for whenever you leave BMT. They teach you your job-specific stuff. So like I got taught how to use safety wire, which is like wire that you wrap around like bolts and stuff like that to keep them safetied when it's flying through the air. And then like your basics on safety, like how to not blow yourself up or like get sucked into an engine and things like that.
All right.
Turned into a smoothie.
What's the difference between basic versus tech school? Why do they have the two split up? What purpose does it serve?
I'd say BMT is more like your esprit de corps of like your pride in the military and stuff like that, and then maybe like changing you personality wise in a sort of way, like making you be more respectful and have manners and follow a certain thing and be more uniform, compared to like tech school is like you're learning about your job while also carrying on that like esprit de corps, respectfulness and things.
Okay. So is tech school as strict as basic then, or how does that work?
I'd say tech school is more lenient than BMT, but like at the same time you have like your curfews, and then you still have to march around, which is extremely annoying. Even when it's just like 2 people compared to like 12, you still have to march around to wherever you're going to go, whether you're going to go eat, go back to your dorm to sleep, or go study somewhere, or just go to class.
All right. How long was your tech school?
My tech school, well, my first part of my tech school in Shepherd was, which is North Texas by Dallas, and it was a month. And then my follow-on was in New Jersey, which was 3-4 months. So I stayed there for a bit.
Okay. When you're at Shepherd for that month, is everyone going there for tech school in the Air Force, or is it like divided up? Does everyone just go from basic to Shepherd?
No, so it's like depending on your job, obviously. So if you're maintenance, you go to Shepherd. Like maintenance is just like your mechanics, your people who work on the like equipment to help like start up the aircraft or keep it turned on and stuff like that, or people who work on like the engines, the electronics, the hydraulics, all that stuff, they go to Shepherd. And then they get sent out to like their respective like bases where they're going to go next for whatever aircraft they're going to work on.
Okay. And then when you said follow along training, when you got to Jersey, what were they teaching you at that follow along training that they couldn't teach you at that tech school?
So for the aircraft that I worked on for a little bit, it was more specific to like a couple of bases. So they send you on to that next follow-on training there in Jersey, and you're like learning about your aircraft like immediately. They kind of just throw you out there and you're just on the line working, making sure you can figure out everything. They're just like, it's OJT, so on the job training.
So first is like heavy cargo related aircraft. If somebody's going to be sent to fighters, are they going somewhere besides Jersey or?
That I'm not too sure of. I think they go to like a couple different bases depending on the aircraft, because I never really messed with fighters. I was like, they're like a whole type of different person, like different people compared to like heavies and stuff like that.
When you got to Jersey, where'd you go from there?
Jersey, I stayed there for most of my time, but then I would deploy out of there to like different places. So
What was the low of basic? What was the worst day of basic?
I remember one time coming in and like our MTI, our military training instructor, had thought it was a funny thing to take all of our closets and stuff and our beds and just rip them apart and throw them across the room and take our like bedspreads, the mattresses and everything and just rip them apart and throw them across the room. And then like when we walked in, they told us just go ahead and put it back together like nothing happened. So it was really cool. All of our throws were like our clothes were thrown everywhere, so we had to figure out whose was whose and like get them all situated again.
Dang. What was the highlight of BMT?
Leaving.
Yeah,
that was
getting on the bus and getting out of there.
Yeah, that was the best.
They do like a big graduation and stuff when you.
Yeah, so we got to do like our little bomb run, which is whenever like all your family comes and they sit up on one side of this like it's like the size of a football field, maybe bigger. And then you all stand in like formation and stuff, and then you all march with flags like across them and like salute to like I think it was like a colonel or something or a general that's like sitting there and stuff. So that part was pretty cool.
Once you got to tech school, what was the low of the low in tech school?
Oh, just like being stuck on base the whole time for a whole month. Because you like, since I was there for only a month, you have like class or not classes, but I can't remember what they're called. It's like phases, and like you sit there and like your first phase you can't go off base at all. Then like the second phase you can go off for a certain amount of time, and then like the third you can go and be gone for the weekend or whatever. So I didn't even get to go through my first like while I was in Shepherd, but then I went to Jersey. And when I got to Jersey, I had like all my freedom back. I could go wherever, like every weekend or like after class and everything. We still had a curfew, had to be in by like I think it was like 11, but wasn't bad.
What was the highlight of tech school?
I would say ours was like during Thanksgiving. So my buddy's like family came up and stuff, and they rented Airbnb on the Jersey Shore. So it was like really cold, but it was still cool to go like chill with their family and everything and their Airbnb. That was pretty fun. It was a nice place.
Is there anyone you keep in contact from basic or tech school still, or?
There's one from tech school. Other than like BMT, I didn't really stay in touch with anybody, but one from tech school. Me and him went like from tech school to like the same base together and everything else, and ended up working together. I'm still good friends with him. He just got out too. So
at Jersey, what's like the mission there? Like, why do they have planes there? Like, what's the whole point?
So like Jersey's like one of the biggest like, well, yeah, compared to like Charleston, it's like the biggest eastern port in from like Europe and like Southeast Asia and everything. So they send out refuelers or like do a bunch of different cargo missions and everything out of there. So like during the Afghan pullout and everything, they were doing cargo missions in and out of there and refueling aircraft over the Atlantic. So it's a lot of those missions.
On deployments and stuff, when you would leave Jersey, are you leaving to just go do the same job while you're deployed? Are you getting tasked with other things? Are you like leaving with a certain plane, coming back with that certain plane? How, like logistically, how does all that work?
For us, we got lucky whenever we were working on aircraft, our aircraft, we would load on it and just fly out with it to wherever we were gonna deploy to, because we were just able to work on the aircraft while we were out there. It was pretty much the same mission, just kind of maybe like a faster pace instead. So we would still like do our normal jobs, like changing out heavier parts, maybe helping out like the engines guys change out engines, or like APUs, which is like your auxiliary power unit, which basically starts up the aircraft. So like you'd be out there in 130, 120 like degree weather, just changing out a piece of hardware and like a hole in a big metal plane. So that would suck a lot. And then like at night, the humidity just got higher. So like you're sitting in 140-degree weather and just sweating your balls off the whole time. Super cool.
What was the work schedule like? Do you just like 9 to 5, or when a plane needed something to get done on call? How does that work?
So ours was weird. It was like a 5 and 1. So we'd work 5 days straight and then one day off, and they were 12s. So like, just that was the consecutive like thing that we kept up. So we would like launch an aircraft out. They'd go do their thing for however many hours, then come back and we'd fix what needed to be fixed, refuel it, and just replenish all like the oil or hydro and everything like that. And we'd just keep it going. So it was like that was also Groundhog's Day too, like really bad because you're flying like either the same missions or just setting up the same jets over and over again. So
When you're working 5 and 1, you're working 12. So like this is a shift, B shift. You're working 12s, and you get to that 6th day for the day off. Is just nothing happening that day? Someone on call? If somebody does need to fix something, who's covering that 6th day when everyone else is off?
So like for the 5 and 1s, I should have explained that more. But like for the 5 and 1s, everybody has a different day off. So like you have a group A, group B, group C. So like group A will have like Thursday off, and then group B will have Friday, and then group C, and like so on and so forth will have the next day off. So somebody's always working. Like a group is always working.
Oh, okay, so it's like a
Yeah.
pods that are rotating through.
Yeah. There's never nobody there. Somebody's always there working. Yeah. It's like 365, 24/7 all the time.
How many times did you deploy?
I deployed twice, 4 months each. So they weren't too long, but they were pretty fun at times.
Did you go to any like undisclosed, hidden, top secret locations, or any places you're allowed to talk about that are known on the map?
No, I can talk about where I went on the map. I went to UAE twice, the United Arab Emirates. So I've like been to Dubai, and then I've been to Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, and messed around.
Any cool trips that you were allowed to like go off the base on your days off and stuff?
Yeah, so like as long as we had like somebody over, I think it was like 24 or 25, and then somebody who was over a certain rank, they could take us off base. So we went to Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, where they have like the fastest roller coaster in the world. I think it was like 144. So that was pretty cool. And then like went to the Burj Khalifa and all that in Dubai.
Is the Burj Khalifa the one where you can see the sunset, and then like you go up it in an elevator, and as you're going up, you see like the sunset in reverse because it's so tall, and then it sets again?
Yeah, it's insane. So like the Eiffel Tower, how like it sparkles because they put all the lights all over it. They did the exact same thing to the Burj Khalifa. So you like walk up to it at night, and it looks like it's shining because they put so many lights on it, and they have like an insane restaurant at the top too. So it's pretty crazy.
When you were over there and you're out like walking around in like the general public and stuff, seems like places like that, like the UAE, are pretty like open to Westerners. Was there any like kind of culture shock, or was there like just already just like a giant mix of people, since that country already has like high immigration from everywhere, that you didn't really stand out at all?
Yeah, for me, I felt like I didn't stand out at all, but also at the same time, like it is a culture shock because you go there and like you expect to be in some like Middle Eastern country, like you see all these things on TV and stuff, but this is like the most like richest country in the world. So you go there and you're hearing like Mandarin when you're walking by certain people, you're hearing like Australian accents, British or like English accents, all sorts of different stuff, like Russian. I heard all sorts of different things walking by people, so it's just weird because it's like another center like of the world just right there. And just there's like tons of money passing through that country. It's insane just walking through.
Walking through there, did you get any vibes of like what kind of people are there? Are they all just like fuck boys with a bunch of money, or do you think they had like ties to the government? They were there from different countries for their military industrial complex? Or
I feel like all the things you just mentioned were pretty much like all of what I got. Maybe less of like the fuckboy thing because like that country is very respectful to like everybody who comes through. Like we went to go eat one time, like me and my friends, and I guess the guy who owned the restaurant could like tell we were military, and he came up to us. He was like, "Are y'all military?" And we were like, shit, yeah." And he was like, "Oh, I want to thank you for what you do, all this and that." And like we're in a whole nother country, and he's like thanking us for what we do. So it's insane, like how much ties we have to like another Middle Eastern country like that. But at the same time, you could tell like there were people there for like just the government. Yeah, because like there's some people that I feel like wouldn't belong normally and stuff. So
Nice. Is it like as lavish as people say it is? Like when you're walking
most
around, it's
definitely.
just like Aston Martin, Bugatti, like
Yeah,
all
it's
these
like
cars driving by,
yeah, it's
people
definitely
walking
like that.
leopards.
Yeah, like I don't know, you see people wearing all sorts of name brands and everything like that, and then like you're walking through like their malls or their stores, and there's these people coming out with like these fancy colognes, like trying to spray you and get you to like pay for like whatever they're selling. So it's definitely much more lavish than like your typical places in the U.S. Because it's weird though, because like when you go there, it's desert for like so where we're at. We're originally in Abu Dhabi where we're stationed. Then you drive up an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to Dubai. It's just nothing, just straight sand, and you'll see like camels. Yeah, it's just like the in between. You'll literally see like little tents and stuff, and then like camels, like strolling on the side of the road, and guys on little dirt bikes, like trying to get to wherever they're going. And then you like roll up on Dubai, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Because it's like in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like these huge towers and like the Burj, and like it
Like
looks like an
trees
oasis.
coming out
Yeah,
from
like
like
literally.
giant skyscrapers.
Yeah, it literally looks like an oasis. It's insane.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then I even went to the Louvre out in Abu Dhabi and stuff because like there's 3 Louvres in the world. There's one in France and Paris, and then one in Abu Dhabi, and I can't remember where the third one is. I think it's somewhere in like Asia,
What's a Louvre?
like the museum, like where they keep the Mona Lisa in Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have one there in Abu Dhabi. So like they have a whole bunch of old stuff from like Mesopotamia and just different parts of Europe that they like switch around through different museums.
Oh, okay. So not one museum has it; it like rotates through.
Yeah, it'll rotate.
Huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a couple pictures on my phone. I can't remember what one of the more famous paintings was that I saw while I was there, but that was really cool. And they have like a nice restaurant there and everything.
With it being a Middle Eastern country and like predominantly Islamic, did anyone ever get like any side eyes, or did you feel like anything was judgy if people dressed some kind of way? Was there a general expectation in public of modesty or anything like that, or people still like just walking around in bikinis, chilling and doing what they want?
So it's weird because like all that stuff exists about like oh they don't like people showing too much skin or women showing too much skin, which is like definitely prevalent because you'll see the women walking around with like their what's it called, the hijab. Yeah, they're walking around with that still, but you can tell like those women were probably beautiful because like the way they did their makeup and everything, like their eyes and just like what they were wearing, like even their shoes, like you could tell they had money and stuff too. But it's weird because you see them and then you see us walking around, like if we're walking with any girls like we knew and stuff, like obviously they're not wearing as much clothes as they are, so like they would still definitely get side eye.
Really?
And like some of the girls would get uncomfortable, and like they had like a lot of the women have tattoos that I worked with,
Mm.
so you walk around and they would definitely get side eye for that with all the tattoos. Yeah,
Do do
they.
men get side eyes if they have tattoos, or is it just because they're women?
I
Supposed
mean, yeah, you still get it if you have like tattoos if you're a guy, but they'll literally even tell you before you go off base to like try and wear like long sleeves or long jeans and stuff, so that way like nobody gives you a side eye or you don't give anybody a reason to like suspect something or make you
least
feel
amount
weird.
of
Yeah,
conflict possible,
yeah.
conflict points.
So you have like no worry while you're out.
Is everyone there then for the most part dressed in like what you would, I think most people picture in their head as like traditional garb, or because it's such a mixture of people, like only predominant like native UAE people dress like that, but everyone else just kind of dresses how they want?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can tell who's from there and pretty much who's not, or maybe who just doesn't care, who doesn't follow like Islam strictly. But yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Do they have any weird laws because of Islam, or are they pretty lenient on that since it's like a big touristy spot?
I wouldn't say laws. I don't know much about their laws, but I know before we went there, we were told to like whenever you cross your legs, like don't point your feet towards somebody, like the bottom of your foot, because that's disrespectful. Like that's basically like saying fuck you to them,
Mhm.
or
Just
like
like cultural
yeah,
norms
yeah,
to
just
keep an
cultural
eye
norms
on.
instead of laws and stuff.
So
So
they're just like, here, you want to
yeah,
salute someone with the middle fingers to say hello.
yeah, pretty much. Or like I think it's waving with your left hand or something like that is also disrespectful because that's like the hand that they wipe their ass with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Does the base employ any locals to help with stuff? Or
Yeah,
is
they
it all
employ.
military?
Yeah, no, they employ like several. So like they'll keep force protection guys there. So it's basically like people who walk around with the people that they hired off base just to make sure they don't do anything wild.
Mhm.
So you always have somebody who's in the military around like these groups of people that are from that country.
Okay. What are they hiring the locals to do that they have to have somebody follow them around as force protection?
So like they would like build, I guess, some of our little like where we live, like our tents and stuff like that. And then they would cook food too, which I thought was weird because we have our cooks in the military. So I don't know why they'd have to hire somebody from the country we're staying in to cook our food. So I always thought that was weird, but they did. And so they would hang out in the kitchen with them or like hang out wherever they were working and just like watch them and see if they did anything weird.
And the FP guy's job is just to escort them on and off base, watch them throughout the day and stuff.
Yeah,
Make
pretty
sure there's like no weird insider threat thing going on.
and obviously make sure they had water and food too because it's so fucking hot out there.
Interesting. What would, if you could go back day one, you're at the recruiter's office, you know everything you know now. Do you still join and do it all? Or do you not sign? You can't change anything. If you sign everything that's happened in that 6-year period happens again, do you still sign or do you take a different path?
Oh, I feel like I'd do it again because it's like a whole bunch of shitty ups and downs, but like it's always fun at the same time, especially the people you meet. Like I wouldn't want to go back and like forget all that because it was so much fun at the same time. But also you never know because if you took a different route, maybe things could end up differently. But hindsight's 2020, I guess.
Maybe you could have been a billionaire.
Maybe I'd be happier just the way I am instead of being a billionaire. That sounds stressful too.
Worrying about losing all your money.
But yeah, all the time. I'd probably just die at like 30. That'd be cool.
Just stress induced, having a heart attack or stroking out or something.
Yeah, I'd have more gray hair than I already do.
Was there anything over the course of COVID 2020 to 2022 that like drastically changed your daily life when it came to operating in the military?
Honestly, no. So like everybody that I knew got like weeks off, or they'd come in for like 2 days out of the week and then be done because like, oh, COVID, you're gonna get it, blah blah blah. But for us, they were like, no, fuck you. You're coming to work. You're gonna wear a mask, and if not, we're gonna yell at you or we're gonna give you paperwork or something, whatever it was. But so the thing is, for my job, is like whenever you get onto the flight line, everybody that's in the office leaves you alone. Plus, during COVID, nobody was in the office, so it was kind of like a stupid situation. Like, how would they even know if we were there?
Who are the office people? Are the office people just higher ups in your job, or is that a different job?
Yeah, no, it's like
management?
Yeah, management. Same people. They did our job, but like now they're higher ranking and they're sitting in the office now. And then like, so we'd get out on the line and we'd come to work with mask on. As soon as we get to the line, we take our mask off because it's like, well, what?
Because you're outside?
Yeah, literally, we're outside, and also they basically bus us around in trucks because the flight line's so big. You're not going to walk the whole flight line trying to get to plane. So like you're going from like row to row with each airplane. You have to get in a car, and they take you around. So you're sitting in the car with like 2 inches away from like 10 people. So if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. Like the mask wasn't going to stop it. So that part really sucked, but we just kept working the whole time. And I had several friends that were off for like months, basically working from home, quotations.
Remote working?
Yeah, remote working.
Other jobs?
Yeah. But like they weren't really working. They were just chilling at home. But yeah, nothing really changed during COVID work wise. We just kept going the same we were.
Did anything change dramatically outside of work in Jersey?
Yeah, like they closed down a whole bunch of stores and restaurants and everything. And like whenever the vaccine started to become a thing, like you needed a vaccine just to go to restaurants or like to go certain places, they would like stop you at the door and check if you had your like vaccine card and everything. Felt like something out of a movie. It was weird. I didn't like that.
Didn't ask for your papers?
Yeah.
Did you wait until whoever, Secretary of Defense, came down with the mandate for the military, or did you get it like right away?
I got it. I think it was 2 or 3 days before I was required to get it, like till the last. Like they were like, if you don't get it, I'm giving you paperwork. You might lose your rank, and all this and that. So like I waited 2 days before I had to get it. I was just trying to wait and see if maybe they were like, oh no, you're good, never mind, you don't need to get it.
Yeah, like
But
resend it or something.
yeah, but no, it was just a big fuck you, and ended up getting it at the very end.
I feel like it's really interesting, all the people that got kicked out, demoted, all this stuff, and now they rescinded the mandate. And I don't think it's official yet, but I read somewhere they're trying to pass a bill. If you end up getting discharged because you want to get the vaccine, you can come back if you want. But they're trying to pass a bill where not only do you come back if you want, but they're going to back pay these people for the entire time too. So if someone got discharged and was out for like 16 months and they come back in, they're trying to make it mandatory that they back pay them that 16 months that they were
insane.
out for.
I didn't know about that. I knew about the like possibly letting them come back in and everything, but I didn't know about the back pay. That's so much money.
It is so much money.
But like, I don't know. At the same time, like the government, like you like screwed up somewhere, and you're like, oh shit,
doesn't look good.
That's so insane. That's yeah, because we had one kid. I couldn't stand this kid. He was so fucking dumb. But
Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and the hydration multiplier is one product you are missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, and on long flights. From the invigorating burst of passion fruit to the refreshing blend of tropical punch and the zesty delight of strawberry lemonade, Liquid IV's range of flavors brings joy and satisfaction to everyday hydration. Discover how the convenience of its packaging and delectable taste choices elevate your daily well-being and keep you energized throughout the day. One stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficient than water alone. Made of premium ingredients, non-GMO, and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Pondering Pennies at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code Pondering Pennies at liquidiv.com.
I think he was 19. And I mean, good for him for sticking to his guns. He kept telling everybody, no, like I'm not getting the shot, this and that. He even like did a religious thing and said like, oh, my religion says I can't get the vaccine or whatever, which is stupid because you go through BMT and like you basically go through a line and just get shots one day, like all day.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't make sense. So people were like asking him questions all the time, bringing him into the office, like basically yelling at him. He came outside crying one time because somebody yelled at him too much. And
about telling him to get the shot.
Yeah, like they were basically calling him stupid because like just get the vaccine, you'll stay in. And he ended up getting kicked out, but like good for him for sticking to his guns, but I wonder if he'd come back in now.
Do you know what happens to somebody like that? Did he get like a dishonorable discharge? Did he get to like keep his GI Bill and all that stuff?
I actually don't know if he got to keep his GI Bill. I know he got a general discharge, which is like the middle one because it's like honorable, general, and then dishonorable. So he got out and it was like basically like he was never in.
Oh, okay.
So
basically, like just cut ties. You do you. We'll do us.
Yeah, we'll do us. Like we never met, type of thing. But I don't know if he got to keep his GI Bill, which is like the thing to go to college and all that. So I don't know if they got to keep that. I'm curious. Yeah, it's weird. But he was pretty dumb.
Maybe he'll be back.
I hope not.
Maybe you'll run into him one day if you're back in Jersey. You'll just see him. You're like, you. He's like, I got so much back pay.
I have so much money now. He probably have more money than me right now. That's a lot of fucking money.
Just the ultimate government stimulus check hits his bank account.
And then somehow you'd have to pay it back later for some reason.
Yeah. Imagine the tax bill. Just getting a year and a half's pay all at once.
Oh, that makes me want to throw up just thinking about that.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
You hate to see it. Question 2.0 for you, Topher. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I couldn't hold it together. Day one, recruiter's office.
Oh no.
Well, you get your pick of the litter for jobs.
Oh, that's a good question.
What is the official title for your job as maintenance?
So mine was it was aviation maintenance something. The acronym was like APG or something. We always joked around and said it meant like airplane guy when it meant like aerospace propulsion generation or something like that. But I was a crew chief, so I was like, that was like my title, crew chief. So if like a pilot was gonna ask you a question, they'd be like, chief, I think something's broken," and then we'd have to come over and fix it or whatever. But yeah, that was my title.
Would you have stayed in maintenance, but a different area, or would you have picked something different altogether? You were still joining the military, but they broke out the list of all the occupations, and they're like, "Yeah, just tell us which one you want to do."
I don't know. I had it. It sucked in maintenance, but I had it good at the same time. If I were to switch, I'd probably do like cyber, just because I know how much money they make on the outside. Because like you're almost getting like the same thing as like a cybersecurity degree, like on the outside. So like you could go straight up make like $100,000 like as soon as you get out within your 4 or 6 years. So it's insane how much money some of these guys will go make.
Just grab the certs and
just
run
flip out.
to the private sector.
Because you'll make so much more money instead than just staying in.
Did you sign a 4-year contract or a 6-year
I signed
contract?
a 6-year. They got my ass. They said, "Hey, if you sign an extra 2 years, we'll give you an extra $1,000." And I was 18, and I was like, $1,000 sounds good.
$1,000?
Actually, no, it was 2,000.
Oh, 2,000.
Still not worth.
2,000 over 24 months, less than $100. Oh, that's got to be like $75 a month. They got you with.
Oh my god!
Sign on the line. Sign on the line here for an extra 2 years, and we'll give you $75 a month after the first 4.
Oh,
you were like, "Oh, you son of a bitch,
hell,
I'm in."
Yeah, $2,000.
And they probably texted you on it.
Yeah, they did. I remember that because I was looking at it, I was like, "What the? Where's my money going?"
Why does my $2,000 only add up to $1,400?
That shit was ass.
Someone's got some explaining to do.
Oh my god, who's this FICA?
That's funny. That's funny. Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Because where are you from, originally?
I'm originally from Texas.
So 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you've done something for 6 years, you can say you've done it.
Yeah.
My rule is 5. If you did something for 5 years, you can say, "I did that thing," right? Anyone can do something for a year, even 2 years. You could probably fake it till you make it for 3 or 4 years before you get fired.
Yeah.
If you did it for 5 years, though, that's more than a presidential term. You can say you did that thing.
That is true.
So you lived on the East Coast for 6 years.
Yeah.
You've lived on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Better, worse, or different?
That's a good one, because like honestly, lately since I've like moved away from there, I'm like, maybe it wasn't that bad, because I used to fucking hate it, but literally hated it just because more or less because of the weather, because I hate the cold. I'm like all about the heat and humidity. I'm cool with it, even though I hate it sometimes. But I'd say it's more different than anything, because I guess every spot has its like goods and bads. So being up there, things are more fast paced, I would say, even on like the Jersey side. Like I'd go to New York and stuff like that, and it's definitely way more fast paced. Or like going to Philly, because I hung out in Philly a lot. But I'd say it's just more fast paced, but also there's so much to do around that area. It's insane, because like it was definitely a culture shock for me, because like I grew up in 2 different spots in Texas, and then coming to Jersey, it was just so many people at one time, or like congregating in one spot. It just felt weird, and I hated it for a while, but then I kind of got used to it, and it was like kind of cool because you'd meet random people all the time. And there's just all the food. I love the food up there. It's just everything's there. So
Just a wide variety.
yeah.
So when you say fast paced, you're just talking about just the fact that there's so many people in such an area, so much stuff going on, the hustle and bustle, basically.
Yeah, literally that, and like also the driving too. Like driving on the Jersey Turnpike is like driving the Autobahn, I feel like, because people are just passing by you while you're going like 90. So like who knows how fucking fast they're going. I don't know.
Just looking at you like, this man has the audacity to only do 90 in the left-hand lane.
What an idiot.
What an idiot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still miss Texas and everything, and I'd rather go back there, but Jersey wasn't bad. I enjoyed Philly a lot. I was always in Philadelphia.
Here's the big question.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the bigger question for you, Topher, before I ask this question is, are you willing to disclose your status as a bachelor or non-bachelor for me to pose this question.
I'm not a bachelor.
Okay. So as somebody who is currently in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
so if your girl ever listens to this episode, you need to really think about how you answer
How I'm
here.
gonna respond to this? Yeah.
Yes. Would you go back to Jersey if the recruiter had given you the pick of the mill? Choose whatever base you want to go to for that 6 years. Do you go to Jersey just because you know you're going to meet your girl? You know, again, you know everything you know now, right then and there. Or do you point your finger somewhere else on the map?
I'd go back.
You go back?
I'd go back to Jersey, yeah, because like a lot of it sucked at the time because I was like, so about to get personal, because I was dating a girl for a very long time, like almost 7 years.
Before joining
before
the military?
Yeah, and then like into the military and everything, and then ended up breaking up with her after 7 years. So I was like, what the fuck? So I'd like that screwed me up for a little bit, and it felt really weird, like being alone after not having somebody for 7 years or being with somebody for 7 years.
Were you guys doing the long distance thing, or did
Yeah.
she eventually come to Jersey with you? Or
No, it was
anything?
like long distance the whole time since I joined to like when we broke up and everything. So it was like seeing her like randomly, like every 4 months or something like that, or every 3.
Was she back in Texas?
Yeah, she was back in
Oh,
Texas.
that's
She was
far.
going to school at Texas A&M. So like that was like a whole fiasco in itself. Like then her coming up there randomly and me seeing her and stuff like that. Then ended up breaking up, and then was like we were split up for like a year, and then I met my current girlfriend, and it's been so much better ever since. So like I feel like I would just go back to Jersey and just do it all over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a trick question because if you know everything you know now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking like Germany or Italy
Yeah.
or somewhere in Europe, and then I'm just gonna make sure I hop a flight and be
At the
where
right
I need
spot.
to be
See,
to
I
meet
didn't
the
know.
girl.
I didn't know if that was like allowed in this scenario, because if that's the scenario, then I would just I would do the exact same thing. I would go to like Germany or England or something like that, or like
Or
down
even
to Italy.
or even weirder, I know everything I know now. I go wherever I want, and then you just send a text like, "Hey, I know you don't know it yet."
You just somehow have their number.
Well, you know everything you know.
Yeah, that's true. You know the exact right words to say.
Yeah, you're like, hey, this is gonna come off weird. All right, I'm gonna just let you know you're really into me.
You love me.
It's just work with me here. Work with me here.
Just listen real
This
quick.
is not a scam. I'm not a Nigerian prince. I promise you.
I could be a Nigerian. Yeah, no, if that happened, my girlfriend would be like, no.
Block.
Yeah, instantly. There's no way.
You hate to see it. Is she from Jersey originally?
No, she's from Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Is whenever you leave Jersey and go on to the next adventure, is she down to go with you, or is she into the Jersey area, or does she want to go back home to
She
Chicago?
would love to go back home, but she's down to go wherever I go next to. So we're figuring that out on where we're going to go next and then what we're going to do.
Nice.
So that part's pretty exciting.
What'd she go to school for?
She's going to school to be a PA.
Okay, so a lot of job opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for
regardless of where you guys move to.
Yeah, she has the pick of the litter. Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty great.
Nice.
Very smart, much smarter than me.
Military always seems more and more being used as like a political tool these days. Like I feel like you always see on the news politicians being like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. This person's gonna end this war, this person's gonna start this war, more funding, less funding, removing quote unquote wokeism from the military, adding it as the run of the mill workhorse guy in the military. Does it even really matter who's who at the top when it comes to like POTUS, SecDef, all these different places? Like, does it, does Lloyd Austin get in office and all of a sudden it's sunshines and rainbows, or suddenly it's just shit falling from the sky? Like, is there actually any kind of trickle down, or is it just normal 9 to 5 business operates as usual regardless of what's going on?
I mean, like, in my opinion, just for me, I feel like no matter who's in office, there's always going to be somebody else above you. So like me, you're a little workhorse at the very, very bottom. yeah, I'm always going to have somebody above me, and that person's always going to have an opinion on this subject. The other person's going to have an opinion on this subject or how they want things to go. So like somebody's always going to mess with whatever's going on, and there's always going to be a weird trickle down, whether it's from the very, very top, from like POTUS, like, oh, he wants this done, or he wants this done, like we want to go into this country or stop going into this country. Somebody else is going to have a different opinion, whether it's like some other general or something like that, what they're going to want to do, and maybe they'll try and go around the POTUS or whoever else. So I don't know. That's the way I feel like that works, because everybody has their own agenda or like their own angle. So
Do you think it makes us ineffective at all when we're competing against these near peer adversaries like China, who is just a one party system, CCP? You know, they got a dictator like Xi
yeah,
running the show, and they're operating on 100-year-long plans of execution. And not that we're in turmoil or anything, but we do have a system that sets us up for every 4 years, kind of could be
Yeah.
the changing of the guard from one line of thinking to the other. Do you think that disadvantages us at all, or do you think the almost pitting of ideas against each other ends up being a strength for us?
I think it almost keeps us like spry since we do that. Like we're ready to go at all times, like, or like something new is always coming up. But also at the same time, I feel like we're shooting ourselves in the foot while doing that. Because like it doesn't help that we don't always have like a long-winded plan, unlike some of these other countries and stuff like that. So
Don't have the next 20 years is what we want to accomplish.
I feel like
More
everybody says we do, but we really don't. Or like we have like maybe a loose plan of what we're gonna do in the next 20. When somebody has like a concrete one, like somewhere else.
yeah,
It's
every
crazy to think
4
about.
years. Googling something real quick. Every 4 years. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to sound stupid. National Defense Strategy is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the POTUS.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about the POTUS. And yes, it gets updated every 4 years. That's
Have you ever
literally
actually sat down and read one? Yeah, I sat down and read the last one that Biden put out. It's actually very interesting to like go into and read it, like the Five Eyes, like what we do with them and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's our 100-year plan. That's our counter to China.
Yeah.
Every 4 years, we get a new NDS.
Yeah.
So we're like thinking 4 years out at a time, and these other dudes are talking generations.
I feel like that's not just it though. I feel like there's probably so much more shit that we don't know about that's like way
Outside
out there.
of
Yeah, that
purview.
nobody talks about. Like somebody else has made a plan somewhere else or like some committee,
Mhm.
and it's like so far up that we'll never know about it, and we probably base all these like national defense strategies off of it.
It's like that. I forget who Joe Rogan was talking to. I think it was like a former CIA guy. And they were talking about like, who do you think the people are like the day you become president, and like you go behind the closed doors and you sit down and they're like, all right,
Aliens are fucking real.
aliens are fucking real. She over in China is actually a robot, and
He is Winnie the Pooh.
the CIA did attempt to pay off the Wagner Group to overthrow Putin on our behalf.
Imagine. Oh my god.
What a roller coaster that was. On Friday there was a
in a
coup,
weekend.
and then Saturday they were sipping cocktails in
Yeah.
Belarus, and it was just a protest, not a coup.
Yeah, I just saw something on Instagram and it was saying like, ooh, what's in store for this weekend? Like
Yeah.
who's gonna overthrow who, or like what's gonna happen this time?
The memes that I really do miss that kind of died off pretty early on in 2023 was like end of the world bingo. And it was like, oh,
yeah.
just stamped off murder hornets. Oh, just stamped off World War III. Oh, just stamped off COVID 2.0.
Yeah.
Well, I was thought for sure. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be some really good bingo memes coming up
Literally.
about Wagner staging a coup, and it only lasted like 18 hours.
But I have seen like a couple where it's like didn't have that on my bingo card.
Oh,
And
did
then
you?
Now this week it's like didn't have France destroying themselves on my bingo card.
France is a weird country, though. France,
They're like built for like rioting and protesting. Like they've been doing it since they were a thing.
yeah,
It's insane.
it's almost good that the French aren't allowed to own guns like Americans, because like I don't remember how long ago it was, but I feel like it was during COVID. Their firefighters were protesting,
Yeah.
and when the cops came to break up the protest, the firefighters lit themselves on fire and tried to fight the police while on fire. That's a dangerous man.
Like people always talk shit about the French about like, oh, like they won't ever fight for themselves, this and that. But like, there's some fucking wild people.
Yeah. Who the fuck lights themselves?
Yeah.
Who's like, I'm gonna fight you, and just to make sure I win, I'm gonna light myself on fire. That's right behind the dude that gets naked before he fights you.
Yeah.
Like if you're in road race, someone gets out of their car and starts taking off their clothes before they fight you, just dick out, brawling, like scared of that guy. And then after him, I'm scared of the firefighter who's lighting himself on fire to fight the police.
I've got respect for both of them. Those guys are pretty hardcore.
But that's crazy. Yeah, it's good. It's good maybe it's good that they don't have guns, because if they did have guns, like imagine a firefighter on fire and now he's got an AR.
Jesus. But have you seen like how they're just blowing up everything? Like they just take fireworks and just like put it wherever and just blow shit up.
They went into
They're like looting hard too.
Yeah, they went into some like bank or economic forum deal, and they just lit the whole lobby on fire in protest too. Like they're just burning everything now. You have that going on in France, and then like in Canada, you have truckers drive to like Toronto and honk horns, and Trudeau's like, they're terrorists.
Oh my god.
It's all puts everything really into perspective.
Shit's so dumb
for you. It's a good thing that the French were not here on January 6th. Otherwise, things probably would have been a little more different.
One interesting subject too. Oh my god.
Just drawing parallels. Oh. So, Topher.
Yes.
I guess Topher.
I feel like I'm just like Topher the golfer.
Topher the gopher. Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Groundhog Day. Topher the gopher living Groundhog Day in the military.
It comes full circle.
It's canon now. It's canon. What was life like in Central Texas? Slightly Southeast Texas?
Yeah, Southeast.
Southeast?
Yeah.
What was that like growing up?
It was a lot of fun. I had like a lot of freedom compared to what I feel like I would have like maybe up north or something. Maybe like, yeah, pretty much up north, but I was like pretty free to do whatever I wanted and stuff. I grew up a little bit on a ranch at a time, so I got to like ride horses, do the little cowboy thing and stuff like that. So like a little bit of roping, a little bit of like cutting for like horses, like breaking up herds and pushing cattle. Like the most cattle that we pushed at one time was like 700 head. So that was a lot of work. I've been slammed up against fences by bulls, been shocked by cattle prods fighting each other, cutting off bulls' balls and then throwing their sacks at each other.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it was a lot of fun though.
Playing dodgeball with bull testicles,
Literally,
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, there was one time we had a bull. He was an asshole, but like, it's funny because like I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But you cut their balls off and like they instantly just become mad. So it's like either they get a huge
because you cut their balls off.
Yeah, because like you probably, I mean, I'm sure you would get mad if you got your balls cut off, but I wonder if it's like a huge boost to testosterone into your body really fast, which I don't know. I've always thought about that. I'm not sure if that's even a thing, but like they get super aggressive. So like it was shaking the whole chute and everything like that. We were trying to get it to calm down. Finally, we like let it go and went to the pen. And like we were standing around talking. And one of the guys was like off to the corner, like trying to light a cigarette. And I was talking to one of the other cowboys. He was like, watch this. He picks up like the bull's sack. And this bull was huge. So it had like huge balls too. So he picks up the sack, throws it at the dude that's lighting the cigarette. It like the dude's wearing sunglasses, hits him in the sunglasses, just sticks to the sunglasses. He literally has to take off the sunglasses and peel the bull's ball sack off the sunglasses. He just throws it on the ground and puts his like sunglasses on top of his head, just lights a cigarette. He was like, fuck y'all. Like just standing there.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But like it was a lot of that, just like screwing around with like your friends like on horseback or like in a truck, because we'd get up super early and go like feed cattle and like it'd be super chill in the morning, hot as hell. And then you go like saddle up the horse and everything, you go push like hundreds of cattle down a lane, or like weaning. So weaning is like when you take the bulls away from the heifers. So heifers are female cows, so that way like they're not like banging them the whole time, getting them pregnant. So they want them to stop having sex, so that way they can like go raise their calves and stuff like that. So you pull the bulls away and put them in a whole nother like pasture, so that way they're just chilling, so they get like super aggressive and super horny and everything too. And then you go let them back into the pasture like the next season during like the fall and the winter and stuff. So they go like
so
make,
like half the year they're separated.
yeah, so they're like away, and that way the calf can get a little bit older and stuff. And then like it's crazy because you have to watch, because you get a couple of like calves that start to get inbred, and so like they'll grow up and you can tell which ones are inbred because like some of their horns will like grow onto the side of their head. So we had like a couple that we pulled off sometimes.
Oh no! So like the male calves become bulls, and then
Yeah.
they fuck their mom.
Yeah, literally.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, so like they're inbred, and like you can tell because like their horns won't grow like the way that they're supposed to. So their horns will like start curving and going in, like growing into their head. So like there was one, we grabbed the cow, she came in and we put her in the chute, and like the horn was growing into her skull. So we had to
Oh,
cut.
cows have horns too.
Yeah, so
just
yeah,
bulls?
they're like a weird breed of cow. I can't remember what they're called right now.
Are like predominantly for meat versus dairy?
Yeah, it's meat and leather. Like their leather's like pretty thick and it's very nice and everything. So they use it for like clothes and different stuff like that. But this one, she had like her horn growing into her skull, so we had to grab her and like get a like sawzall and cut her horn off and stuff. Like we literally had to pull the horn out of her head. Yeah, because it was like growing that far in and everything. But luckily she like healed up and like was just fine after all that everything.
So on the farm, is there just like a certain number? Like they just want to, because obviously one bull could impregnate
Oh yeah.
all the cows.
Yeah.
So like but only cows can give birth, or heifers.
Heifers.
So like are the bulls the first to get killed for meat and leather? How does that work?
So it'd usually be like the heifers and stuff, or like sometimes the calves, because like sometimes they want like the calves like leather. Not well, they won't kill them when they're calves, but like certain calves, they'll cut their nuts and they turn them into steers. So steers are the male cows that don't have balls. So like they'll keep them and use them for leather later sometimes and stuff.
Why castrate them?
So like sometimes through genetics, they won't grow to be like as lean and like
They'll be like fatter.
yeah, they'll be like
So
fatter. They won't
won't
they
get
won't be
as
as
much
lean
money
or like
'cause they won't be as
strong looking in a way. Yeah. So like
So
they'll
they don't want those
yeah.
ones to accidentally reproduce.
Yeah, they don't want them to reproduce. So they'll cut their balls so that way they keep the bulls that we want to come back and like breed with the heifers again.
So if there's like a desirable bull that's got like the genetics you're looking for, you would keep him around into old age, so he keeps breeding.
Yeah, kind of like how they do
cows.
horses for like horse racing and everything like that. Yeah.
And is there like yoked heifers that you keep around and don't
Yeah.
slaughter too? Because
Yeah.
them and the bull that's got the good genetics are making the best cows.
Yeah.
Because best calves.
Some of them, yeah. More or less they keep just like the heifers, just in general. Yeah, because
Such thing
the
as like
baby
bad
machine,
heifer
pretty
genetics.
much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is, but I just never really saw it too much. Everybody was more focused on like the bulls and the steers and stuff, or like the males, because they don't want them to like reproduce other offspring with whatever.
Okay. And then how does it work moving the product? It's a product, right? Is there like a contract set up of a slaughterhouse? Is like Louis Vuitton coming in and being like, that one's about to be a purse?
So that was like way above me, but the way it worked for us is like the cowboys, we would get them, push them through so the lane is like literally what it is. It's a lane of pasture that you just push the cattle down 100 ahead. You get them to whatever pasture you're going to. A big truck comes in, like those cattle trucks, and then you push them all up on there, and they take them to wherever. They'll take them to go get slaughtered for their leather, for clothes, for handbags, for interior, for vehicles, and or they'll take them for meat because like their meat's really good and everything, as long as they like stay lean and stuff like that. So they take it for wherever. It's just wherever they have a contract signed, they'll send that meat and stuff like that.
Are they just out in the field eating grass all day? Does it get cold enough in that part of Texas where the grass dies, or in the summertime if there's not enough rain, the grass dies, or like throwing hay out?
So they do like these pellets. They're probably like the size of your thumb and like pretty thick. And we put them in a trailer and stuff like that. So that's what I meant by feeding in the morning. We would go out and like, so it's like a thing you connect it to the truck and it like flicks pellets out like every couple feet. And like the cows know they can hear it. So it's weird. So they get used to what it sounds like. And whenever they hear it, they'll like come up to the truck and they'll like eat whatever, like they're like molasses protein tabs. So like they get protein and everything out of the tabs and stuff, and it's just molasses or whatever, and they just eat it. Yeah, and if not, they'll just go chew on a tree or chew on some grass because like the trees down there would hang low.
So it's almost like zombies. Like they hear and then you just
They
see
hear it and follow
all
them.
these cows come over the edge on the horizon.
Dude, literally, yeah, because like you'd be chilling there in a field, you hit the siren because like they'd hear the siren start coming, but then they hear like the flicking, and they'll come around. You just see like herds of them come out of nowhere. You're like, I didn't even know they were chilling in those trees. It's so weird.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but we'd wake up like super early sometimes to like go like feed and everything, like 4 a.m. and work till like 6.
If you had a kid, would you want to raise the kid in that kind of environment in Jersey or somewhere in between where it's urban but not a city? Suburbs, I guess, is what we're talking New York City, we talking,
Would say
a here kind of area. I feel like is kind of suburban because there's nice places here.
Yeah,
At one place we went to last night, I didn't think
existed.
existed here.
I didn't think so either. It was really weird.
But you're also close proximity to like north or south of us, two major cities. If you
Yeah.
want to go do something more,
I feel like I hated being around there sometimes because there was nothing to do, but I feel like personality wise, I like got raised differently. So that way, like, I know what hard work is, or like my work ethic is like very strong just because like of all the stuff that I did, like on a ranch and like the people I worked around. So I'd want them to be around that, but also at the same time, like, I want to be somewhere in the middle so they have things to do, like they don't get bored or do something stupid. Because like when you're in a small town or something like that, you're gonna go drink, you're gonna go have sex with somebody at an early age and do something stupid, or like, so I don't want that happening. But also I want somebody to have like a kid to have that strong like work ethic and like know what hard work is, or like respect, or like how to earn respect from somebody and things like that.
yeah, have a little. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is trials and tribulations in life.
Yeah.
Not have everything handed to them, but not live in squalor.
Yeah,
either.
more, yeah.
You know,
I also don't want them
solid
to
in
bare
between.
minimum.
Yeah. Fuck it. Sell them. You know what? Is it Montana just rolled back all the child labor laws and stuff? Put them in a fucking coal mine in
Hell
Montana.
yeah, have them work a ranch at 4 years old. They'll be good to go.
You'll see like those pictures from like the 1870s, like some 8-year-old smoking a cig in a
fucking factory.
Yeah.
Stuff's insane. How they're not on fire, or like I don't even know how they could do it at that age.
It's gonna be like 2050. Some photos gonna be circling the internet. It's gonna be like some 4-year-old just, I don't even know, covered in cow shit or dressed up like a logger. Who the fuck is that? Oh, that's Topher's kid. I know exactly what's happening in this photo. Son of a bitch, he did it.
Oh my god, he made it.
Oh, too funny. I forgot my follow-up question. The military.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend it?
I would.
Would you recommend it?
Not to everybody though.
I was gonna say, would you recommend it to like absolutely? So one thing I've thought about, began writing a manifesto.
Oh, that's terrifying. That word's sketchy.
And
be careful.
One of the opening, I've told another person about this, and it's not what you think. But in a satire,
died his manifesto.
In a satire way, in the first 2 paragraphs, I talk about book burning and book banning.
Oh yeah.
In a satire way. But anyways, Florida. One of the pages, one of the paragraphs of my thing talks about like a mandatory like military or national service.
Oh, like a requirement?
Yeah.
Like how the Israelis do?
Yeah, but not. See, I feel like that gets a little weird, right? Because
I mean, Gal Gadot did it.
We have
Wonder Woman.
We have the Constitution, you know. So I feel like that's a violation. You can't be conscripted, but you can be conscripted because there's a draft, you know. So I don't think you should be allowed to be drafted.
That's also true.
So I don't know, but I think there should, whether it's like a more adult version of the Boy Scouts, or you know, like some kind of like maybe your
hardcore reserve.
Yeah, like you could do the military if you wanted to, but if you didn't want to do the military, you could also like
you have to contribute in some
sort of way. Do the grown up version of Boy Scouts and like you have to go fucking work in a soup kitchen or something, or in an underprivileged neighborhood building
Okay,
a
so like
fucking park
community
or
work.
something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
mandatory community service, but not mandatory, because I don't think,
Nobody likes that word.
yeah, and I don't think you can make somebody do it because that's unconstitutional. But maybe incentivize, like
Yeah, for college, you
if
get
you
this much money off.
if you
Or this
do
thing.
this for 2 years after high school, any state school
Yeah,
is free to
that would be
attend.
pretty cool because then like maybe you'd knock off some like gen ed stuff, like general education. Like, oh, you're talking to people, you're building your life skills instead of just fucking going to college.
Yeah, and then everyone it's all hyped. I feel like it's a big discussion now, education being expensive. So like you do this for 2 years, get some life experience, maybe you get some credits going in, and then you get to attend a state school for free in whatever state you hold your residency in. But something similar to that, do you think 2, 4, 6 year contracts in the military, like everyone should do it willingly? Or do you think that there is such a thing, like some people it's not right for?
Oh, I definitely agree. There's like it's not right for everybody because like I'm not saying it's like the hardest thing in the world. Sometimes it can be, but sometimes like you make it the hardest thing in the world, or sometimes your family makes it the hardest thing in the world, or your friends, or this and that. Like you're not always the military is not always the reason why it's hard. It's like everything going on around you. So I mean, like work life could suck whether you're in the military or you're not. So I guess it always just depends on the person whether they can handle that stress in some sort of way, because the military makes it harder because you're away from your family, your friends, this and that, or like you're going to new places, so like you got to know how to talk to people, or like
So even when the military itself isn't the difficulty in your life, it's almost like the military is a magnifier for anything difficult that does happen.
yeah, that's a better way to put it, like a magnifier. Like it definitely does that, and it's weird sometimes.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Your GI Bill, do you think you're gonna use it all, or if you end up marrying your girl, you think you're gonna give it to her to use?
I'd like to save it for kids later, to be honest, because like with tuition assistant and everything, I could just use that for the military and finish out my degree. And if I have to pay a little bit, whatever, that's fine. I'm doing all right, so just pay for it.
Or for people that don't know how the GI Bill works, like if you have like 4 kids, can you divvy it up between the 4 kids? Can you only give it to one? Is it like Hunger Games? Who's gonna get the GI Bill?
Who's gonna volunteer as tribute? Uh to be honest, I don't know how it works if you have like 4 kids. I know you can split it up between like one or two. I've heard of that, but I feel like I try and so since I joined out of Texas, I also get the Hazelwood Act.
I don't know what that is.
So the Hazelwood Act is like another GI Bill. So it's like another incentive to join out of like Texas.
Specifically for Texas?
Yeah,
So like
I
if you
think
went back to
Louisiana.
Texas, any of those schools?
Yes, I think it's any state school in Texas.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Louisiana also does something like that too. I think I'm not really sure, but
So you could attend a state school in Texas and never even touch your GI Bill.
yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the
That's
GI.
huge.
Yeah, so like if I had like 2 kids, I would save the GI Bill for one and like the Hazelwood for another kid.
Oh, it applies to
Yeah.
family members,
Mhm.
immediate family members,
Yeah,
I'm
so
guessing.
like yeah, it'll work for that too. I've had a couple friends who use their dad's like Hazelwood Act and stuff too.
Oh, that's game changing then.
Yeah, it's pretty
Pop
crazy.
out
So
a small tribe and send
yeah,
them all.
literally, and they'll be freaking geniuses one day, hopefully,
That's
or
great.
just throw it all away. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. They get a gender study degree
Yeah,
or something.
how to
And
plant flowers somewhere or something.
yeah, I think that's considered a farmer. How to plant,
Debatable.
how to plant flowers. Fraser is a farmer, and we do need those.
Yeah, that is true. We do need.
I like my meat, but I would argue we need farmers.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I guess farmers raise cows too, but I think it ranches.
Well,
I think farmer, I think cornfields.
There's this one girl I knew. She had a degree. I forgot the name of it, but it was horticulture or whatever it is. Something about like putting plants together and like making sure they look or flowers together and make sure they look good together.
That the flowers look good, like putting a bouquet together. Make
Yeah,
sure the bouquet
kind
looks
of.
good.
Like I'm probably dumbing it down a lot more, but that was to me. I was like, that's what your degree is. You're putting flowers together. Like you're making stuff look pretty.
Bonsai tree expert, but for flowers.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I bought a bonsai tree. Fun fact. I bought two.
Are they both dead already?
No. Well, they could be. I haven't been home in a while.
Yeah, because those things are pretty rough to take care of.
So we were in Dallas, and what's that place called? The Swedish place with all the furniture.
Swedish place. Oh, the Amish market thing? Wait, no, some Swedish. You just said Swedish.
Sir, that made no sense.
No, I'm on another planet right now.
They got the furniture. IKEA.
Yeah, Jesus.
IKEA.
You know the Amish market?
They got the unpasteurized milk and chicken eggs. Couldn't be farther from
Oh my
it.
God.
So we went to IKEA, me and the producer. That's what I call it. The wife on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've doxed her thousands of times already, and have not edited it out at all.
Oh no.
So if anyone ever finds out the rest of her name and who she's been, I'm done for.
It's all over.
I've blown it on myself.
Yeah.
But the producer, anyways, you gotta say it like that too. The producer. Went to IKEA, and she had never been to IKEA, which was weird because the place we lived before there also had an IKEA.
Yeah, I feel like they're everywhere in like big cities, so it's kind of hard not to go, even just to like walk around. It's just
New York. I don't think has an IKEA.
No, they do.
No, upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think they have like a IKEA fulfillment center in upstate New York.
Yeah.
But not where like shit can get delivered and you can pick it up, but not like walk around.
There was a couple times we went to the IKEA in Philly and just like walked around and then found
Does the one in Philly have the cafe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we went there and we went to the cafe. She never been to IKEA before. But while we were there, they have like the gardening section before you go out to pick up the items that you want. And they had bonsai trees there. So I got a bonsai tree. And at my house, one of the spare bedrooms, we have like a big L desk. So like if we're in this room here, you got the wall to your left there is a big desk. And then behind me, a big desk. And my side's all black and her side's all white. And then obviously and red. So like, I have black and red, and then like my mouse pad is black and red, and everything on her side is all white. But we swapped it. I think we swapped it. I might be a liar right now. In my head, it seemed like a good idea, but maybe we didn't do it. Maybe she vetoed me on this. But at least when we first got it, I was thinking accent.
Just a single little
bonsai tree. But we got a black and white one. And I was like, put the white tree on my black side and put the black tree on her white side.
What the fuck?
But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think we did that, though. I think I got vetoed on that, and the black tree's on my side. And the white
so the tree was black? Like what?
Well, the thing that it's...
Oh, that held it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
Pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to text her now after this and ask.
I want a bonsai tree, but that seems like a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, and... obviously they had it in like the temporary pot, and then the actual pot around the temp pot. And when we replanted it, they were not doing so hot at first.
I heard you're not like supposed to move them when they're in like a certain thing.
Yeah, but we repotted them into the bigger permanent ones that they had with them, and we were like watering them, and we got like fucking tree food for them, sprinkle it on there salt-based style. And they were losing like a lot of leaves and dying, but like right before I left, they were making a comeback. But you don't water them very often. You only water them like once a week.
Yeah.
So like you kind of feel like you're not like, oh fuck, this fucking tree's dying, but like 4 times a month you're watering, and you're like, I feel like I need to do
something.
Yeah. But then like, I don't want to like fucking drown it by watering it. I just feel helpless. That's why I don't have kids, because I'd be like,
I think it needs water.
Do I water it? I just watered it yesterday though.
You gotta poop?
Hold up 2 fingers if you're okay. And then the producer's just yelling at me. He's 6 weeks old. He can't fucking do anything.
Idiot. I want one of those like little sand things, like that you drag the rake in.
Oh, like a Zen garden?
Yeah, Zen garden. That would be nice. I could use one here.
They make Zen garden coffee tables.
That's sick.
Like automatic coffee tables. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
So like the desk here, if it was a coffee table, has a glass top and it's filled with all the sand and everything. and you literally Bluetooth connects to your phone, and you can pick out different patterns, designs, all this stuff. And I'm assuming through some kind of magnet system, there's like a little steel ball bearing in there, and it gets drug around through the sand, and it makes the design.
That's fucking
And
sick.
you can like preload a bunch of things, almost like a digital picture frame, and it'll like
the
it'll,
big wiener and
it'll finish, it'll finish the design, keep it there for however long, and then the ball's like boop, 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 and like squeegees it all away, and then starts the next design. So you can do like big mandalas or like portraits and stuff. You can do like whatever you want.
I need to look into this.
They're expensive. I've looked into it. Like one like this, that's probably what is this table? Probably like 4 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah, probably
4 foot by half foot and a half. Probably be like $3,500.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be.
It's cool though.
Yeah. Fuck a TV. I want a sand table.
I feel like I have a weird TV. So when you think TV sizes, what are the increments usually?
Like 10 to 5.
Yeah, it goes like 40, 45, 50.
Yeah.
55. I have an 89-inch TV.
That's very odd.
It was weird, right?
Yeah. Is it like one of the
9?
curved ones?
I have a curved TV. I had a curved TV, I should say. Fucking shit the bed. The power supply broke on it, and I looked it up to like what a new replacement power supply was, and it was like the price of what we paid for the TV originally.
Oh, fuck that.
And now that I've had like the 89-inch is just a regular like flat TV on the wall, and now that I've had like regular TVs and I've had this one curved TV, I don't think the curved TV like. I feel like they're not even really a thing anymore. Like I bought the curved
Yeah, I
TV in
haven't
like
seen anything about it.
2016, 2017.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of like it came out, they tried it. It was a hype thing, and like it wasn't as
Didn't
great
really
as
do shit. It
yeah.
was just a curved fucking TV.
Yeah, not as great as promised, and kind of went away. But TVs are hella cheap these days too.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they just randomly stop being thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I feel like growing up as a kid, if somebody had like a plasma TV that was 40 inches, like
They were fucking rich.
yeah, that'd be like $3,000. And now we got like LCD, 4K, smart TVs with like built-in Netflix and all this shit. Like 50 inches, you like walk around Walmart and they're like on clearance.
Yeah, you like
250.
over them almost.
Yeah, like 250 on clearance. You're like, what? What?
When did this happen?
When does it become a thing? Like if you think about it, that TV is your phone. Yeah. It just can't send texts. Some TVs do like FaceTime and stuff.
Well,
now.
it's like the fridge and everything. Like you
Yeah.
can text off the fridge and shit off of some of them.
It's like so this iPad on the fucking wall that connects to the TV and does all this shit except for like text. It has fucking cameras in it, can fucking FaceTime me,
That's scary though.
everything. And it's $250, but this fucking iPhone is like $1,300. When does this become $100? When does this become $100? This is what I need.
That's true. Because I
This
feel
is
like
what I
we
need
spent so much
R&D
more money on
into.
that.
Yeah, I mean somebody needs to R&D the shit out of this fucking phone. I want $50 phones again.
That
I
would
don't
be
know if
nice.
phones were over $50.
I don't know either.
I remember having like a flip cell phone.
My favorite was the my Roomer, one where you would flip it and have the keyboard.
Did you know they had a Roomer too?
Did they?
Yes, because I had the Roomer in high school,
Uh-huh.
and then the Roomer 2 came out,
Oh,
and I
shit.
got the Roomer. the
Was that
Roomer
one
2.
touchscreen or some shit?
It did have a touchscreen. It was literally the Roomer 1 with a touchscreen,
Oh,
but nothing else changed.
nice.
I don't know if maybe they offered different colors because one was orange and one was blue.
Yeah, I had like the blue and black one, like the original Roomer.
I want to say the orange one was the Roomer 2. I still have them.
Oh shit,
Still have them.
that
My
would be
wife
cool. I'd buy one.
tells me I'm a pack rat because I have a box with all my
Old phones.
Yeah,
That's weird. That is
Yeah.
weird.
yeah. I got a story offline
Oh no.
about
I
that.
feel like I know where it's going, and if it is the same thing, my buddy does the same thing. So
But now I'm scared what your buddy does.
oh, now I'm scared what you do.
Oh. Yeah, I got all my old phones. I don't know what my parents paid for those things, but I guarantee you they weren't giving fucking 12-year-old
Fuck
me
no.
a $1,200
Yeah,
phone.
$1,200. Yeah. Well, I mean, parents do it now, so
They do it now.
No.
Is it inflation, or is this tablet maybe is just really a thing? It shuts them the fuck up. I was probably super annoying as a kid.
I probably was too, but still, I feel like tablet babies are even worse because then you take it away and they're like freaking out.
I was getting my hair cut today. Three kids posted up. one with a little girl. Three dudes posted up in front of me. The oldest one was probably like 8. The youngest one was probably like 3.
3 dudes.
3 dudes. Picturing like middle-aged men. Yeah, it's 3 dudes posted up. All tablet babies.
Oh,
I think one at one point forgot to breathe at one point.
I believe it.
They were all sitting in the chair. I looked over at the one. I don't know what the fuck it was watching, but there was a dog taking a shit, and it wrapped its hand in a toilet paper, like just a fistball full of toilet paper wrapped up mummy style, and scrubbed its ass and made a lot of weird faces while it did it, and then pulled its hand back out. Like, I knew the hand was coming out before I saw the hand. Like, you know, you see the motion. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a shitty fucking hand. Wow, what is this kid watching? And the toilet paper was clean. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll give you that. But what was it wiping then? And yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was watching, but it was this blue fucking dog. He was taking a shit vigorously. Like, yeah. It was getting in there. It had some fucking moxie. Scrubbing his ass. Like the other day when we were in the bathroom, we heard that dude like,
oh yeah,
we did not know what was going on. He was fucking scrubbing in there.
I'm hoping he was just wrapping it into a ball or something. I don't know. I'm scared.
He was going to town like he had a fucking stain and a Brillo pad. But this dog was doing the same thing. But anyways, not the dox one of the people we know, but the cook. You know,
yeah, the cook.
Know,
I'm the cook.
Yeah, so you know how he forgets to fucking breathe sometimes, apparently, and he goes like,
That's the best way to put it.
Hit you with a. That's what the fucking kid did while I was sitting there looking at the tablet. I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this before. It's not breathing.
Breathe, kid, breathe.
I know exactly what's happening here. You're gonna grow up to be just like the cook. Breathe, motherfucker, breathe.
Start shaving.
All right, we've been at this a little over an hour. Getting late. I don't want to keep you too late. I appreciate you coming on, Topher, even though it took a little bit of peer pressure and persuasion.
As most things do.
But during our time here, the pre-recorded episodes, big help to fill the void. But this has been episode, whatever, maybe like 14, 15, 16, Pondering Pennies. The listeners, you'll obviously know. And unless you have any closing words of wisdom for us, Topher?
I don't.
You don't? All right. Remember, children, no war was ever lost because you took time to plan. And that's it for Pondering Pennies. Thank you.